Hello and welcome. So here we are on Independence Day, wishing everybody a very, very happy Independence Day. These days, on days like this, it's not as if we need an occasion to celebrate being Indian. We celebrate being Indian 365 days of the year, 24/7, every second. But these days, it kind of gives us an occasion to come together ceremonially, hoist the flag at home, each one of us holding that tricolor, believing in that tricolor, and thereafter, and then you proudly feel that this is the imagined community. And when you talk about sport, you feel that good, bad, whatever it is, ultimately there is an imagined community in Indian sport that we all celebrate and that we are all part of. Bharat Ramraj, Shomit Chakraborty, Rohit Juglan, Shubhan Chakraborty, all of them join me. And on Independence Day, it is this sport, it is this community that we tend to celebrate. And that's what brings us to our topic, that the next major competition where India will come together as a whole, two competitions, one, the Men's Asia Cup, and I'm talking about cricket here, not about other sports. One, Asia Cup, and secondly, the Women's World Cup. As far as the Asia Cup, more pertinent because the selection is on Tuesday, on the 19th. And what will happen? Are the selectors looking at the big picture? There are several names. Uh, Yashashvi Jaiswal, Shreya Iyer, Shubman Gill, Aksar Patel, ABCD. I mean, a lot of these people might just feel that, are we being given our due? What is the plan? Do we actually have a plan? In our work group, we were discussing this. Shubhan said Shreya Iyer. Has he been given his due? Rohit mentioned Yashashvi Jaiswal. Shomik has done a copy on Aksar Patel. Bharat has done a copy on Rinku Singh. So plenty to talk about. Let me start with you, Shomik. I mean, where do you stand on this? You said to me, selectors will not rock the boat. Exactly what we have been debating and discussing over the last few days. You are at the seat of where the selection will be. What are you hearing? 2 more days to go. Give me specifics. I will ask Rohit, Shubhayan, and Bharat also. Give me specifics. I mean, take the case. Let's start with Jaiswal. Jaiswal was your backup opener in the T20 World Cup in the Caribbean and in the US. Now he has done nothing wrong. Now you drop Jaiswal from the Asia Cup. Then what does that mean? Does it mean that Jaiswal is not in your scheme of things? Why are you dropping him if you drop him? If you pick him, then you pick him at the cost of Shubman Gill. Now, is that something that you will do? These things become critical questions. Where do you stand on this, Shomik?
What I've been hearing is that there would be just subtle changes. Selectors are not going to rock the T20I board because over the last 12 odd months, India have won 13 matches out of 15 they have played. So when that side is settled, when it runs on autopilot, why do you rock the boat to start with? Also, you cannot fit Sanju Samson and Abhishek Sharma are there. I mean, they have been doing brilliant. They have been doing brilliantly over the last 12 odd months. So there is no reason to drop them. And there is, I mean, changing that opening stand could be counterproductive. And on the face of it, you cannot accommodate Sanju Samson, Abhishek Sharma, Shubman Gill, and Jasasi Jaiswal. The four don't fit. Simple as that. Jasasi Jaiswal, what I have heard, that he is not in the scheme of things. At least for the Asia Cup, he is not in the scheme of things. For the time being, his focus will only be on the long form. Once Rohit retires from ODI, Jasasi Jaiswal will come in as Rohit's replacement as an opener in 50 over cricket. But at this moment in time, selectors are not thinking about Jasasi Jaiswal as a T20I opener. That is to start with. Also, you have already mentioned Shubman Gill. It is absolutely not an open and shut case. Those who are saying that it's an open and shut case, it is absolutely not. Even Shreya Iyer. See, the thing is that personally, if you ask me, Shubman Gill for Tilak Verma at number 3, I would like to have him because Shubman Gill is a better batsman than Tilak Verma. But absolutely not even if he comes, and there the chances are not very bright in terms of Shubman Gill coming to the Asia Cup fold. Um, Even if he comes, then it has to be just as a squad member, not as a vice captain. So why on earth will you strip Akshat Patel of captaincy? Is it because he doesn't have the required number of, in number of followers on social media, on his social media handle? Indian team selection doesn't happen like that.
Rohit, where do you stand on Jaiswal? I mean, if Jaiswal is not picked, what is the reason that one can possibly give Jaiswal that this is the reason कि भाई चलो हम तुम्हें overlook कर रहे हैं और आप ये form खेल लो, ये form मत खेलो? Why? I mean, he has not done nothing wrong.
I think this is the only opportunity where you can test that who all you want as far as the T20 World Cup is concerned, because I don't think बोरिया कि ये एशिया कप कोई बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज नहीं होने वाला है आपके लिए. There's no, you can say there's no team who can really challenge Indian team. Maybe Afghanistan with their spinners on, they have good fast bowlers also, they have good batters, as far as last 1 or 2 years are concerned. Yes, but after that आपको ऑस्ट्रेलिया में सीरीज खेलनी है. क्या आप वहां पे टेस्ट करोगे? I don't think so. Then you have to play against South Africa, again a better team as far as if you take all the Asia Cup teams and you compare it with the Australian team and with the South African team, and then I think at the next year, or close to end of December and start of January, you have to play a series against New Zealand as far as T20 games are concerned. So I don't think that बाकी इन टीमों के अगेंस्ट आप इतना चेंज कर पाओगे. इफ यू हैव अ चांस कि आपको किसी जायसवाल को एक मौका देना है, या अगर आपको किसी को भी मौका देना है, जो भी आपकी स्कीम ऑफ थिंग्स में है कि यार टेस्ट कर लेते हैं, बिकॉज गोइंग क्लोज टू T20 वर्ल्ड कप, इफ यू वांट टू देन टेस्ट योर प्लेयर्स, दैट आई डोंट थिंक विल बी वेरी एडवाइजेबल, और बहुत सेंस नहीं बनाएगी वो चीज कि आप जब लास्ट के 10 मैचेस बचे हैं. मैं ये इन लास्ट ऑफ द फ्यू बिग टूर्नामेंट्स वी हैव प्लेड, एक ही शिकायत रहती थी हम इंडियन फैंस की, दैट हम एक यूनिट होकर लास्ट के 5 या 6 मैचेस क्यों नहीं खेलते हैं. व्हाई डोंट वी प्ले लाइक नाउ इट्स 6 गेम्स रिमेनिंग फॉर द T20 वर्ल्ड कप, लेट्स गो विथ योर बेस्ट टीम, एंड स्पेशली अगेंस्ट द बेस्ट टीम्स. अगर आप कॉम्पीट भी साउथ अफ्रीका के साथ कर रहे हो, T20 रनर अप्स हैं, जहां हम चैंपियन बने वो रनर अप्स थे. न्यूजीलैंड डिड रियली वेल, या फिर ऑस्ट्रेलियन टीम है, अगेन ऑस्ट्रेलियन टीम अपने आप को दोबारा से बना रही है. सो व्हाई नॉट इन फ्रंट ऑफ देम, लेट्स गो विथ योर बेस्ट टीम यू हैव. उस समय पे आप ट्वीक्स नहीं कर सकते कि यार चलो यहाँ पर ना एक मौका यशस्वी जायसवाल को देख लेते हैं. If he is not in the scheme of things for Asia Cup, I don't think then आप T20 वर्ल्ड कप में भी, until and unless संजू सैमसन या अभिषेक शर्मा में से किसी का बिल्कुल ही रन्स आते ही नहीं है, एशिया कप में ये होना बहुत ज्यादा मुश्किल है. एट द वेरी स्टार्ट आपको बहुत अच्छे विकेट्स मिलेंगे, फ्रेश विकेट्स मिलेंगे. यस, थोड़ा स्लगिश होगा बैट करने के लिए, बट इतना बड़ा चैलेंज नहीं होगा जो हम चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी में, विच वी आर लुकिंग एट इट, कि भाई बॉल बहुत धीमा आ रहा है. क्योंकि 2022 में भी ऐसा ही हुआ था. अगर आप एशिया कप देखेंगे, सेम विंडो में हुई थी, एंड बीट सूर्य कुमार यादव, बीट विराट कोहली का अगर आप वो 100 देखें, रोहित शर्मा के छोटे छोटे स्टार्ट्स देखें, इट विल अगेन बी काउंटेड एज कि बैटिंग अच्छा हो रहा है. और सेकंड इनिंग्स में तो ड्यू पड़ने लगेगा. इस टाइम पे ड्यू पड़ता है दुबई में, अगर आप देखोगे ड्यू इवेंचुअली पड़ता है, तो वो भी हेल्प करेगा. सो अगर यशस्वी जायसवाल, शुभमन गिल, श्रेयस अय्यर या रिंकू सिंह या कोई भी, मैं किसी एक पे स्पेसिफिकली नहीं बोल रहा हूं, बट किसी पर भी अगर इस वक्त अगर वो सिलेक्शन से बाहर जाते हैं, इट विल बी रियली टफ फॉर देम कि वो वापस जगह बना पाए अपनी.
This one is an important point, Shubhan, that if you leave someone out and this team performs at the Asia Cup, agar jo Rohit keh raha hai, so how do you then get that person in unless someone fails? And the Asia Cup is a tournament where chances of Indians failing not that high. So and there is a super chat also which we can take, that how do you leave Jaiswal out? Shubhan, before I go to Bharat, where do you stand on this? Frankly, what is the logic of leaving that guy out? You had kept him as backup. And what I know, these guys want continuity, and that's what I've been told multiple times. We want continuity. The other thing that I was told, and I'm quoting someone, is that T20 आपको सब दिखा देता है, not that red ball नहीं दिखाता है, कि आप 0 for 3 भी देख सकते हो, 5 for 3, 100 पे 0 at 10 overs. So versatility का भी एक requirement आ जाता है in T20 to play in multiple gears. Jaiswal has that. So why not? I mean, just like Shubman Gill, who is hugely talented, and that's why we are all saying that Shubman Gill merits a place as well. Why not Jaiswal? And if he's not picked, what does it mean for him, Shubhan?
See, Boria, the last T20 World Cup, it has been a while since the last T20 World Cup was played, and after that we have seen the T20 World Cup, multiple bilateral series, and in terms of Jaiswal, of course, IPL has to be a metric somewhere. It has been since the IPL was started for T20I selection in particular. We have seen players break into test team, ODI team on the basis of their IPL performance. So T20I format is the format where you pick and choose players from to play for the country, and IPL is that platform for the India. That is why this country has made IPL what it has become in today's time. And both Yashasvi and Shubman has not played bilateral cricket, T20I cricket for India in the last 3-4 series. Last they played was in Sri Lanka. Before that, in Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe, I don't think Yashasvi was a part. If I'm not wrong, so Rohit can
He
correct
was,
me.
he was, he
Uh,
was, he was, he
he
was.
was, he was, he was. Okay. But Shubman was the captain in that Zimbabwe series. Sri Lanka, Shubman was vice captain, and followed by Bangladesh, South Africa, and England, where both Yashasvi and Shubman did not play because of test and their ODI commitments. So that is where IPL's IPL as a benchmark comes to the place. Look at Shubman Gill's last 3 seasons. To almost 2,000 runs scored, more than 2,000 runs scored at a strike rate, average strike rate of 150. Yashasvi does not have those numbers. Even if we take the most current season, last season Shubman scored around 650 runs, strike rate of 155. Yashasvi was nowhere near that. He had a very poor start in terms of IPL. Second half, he picked up some form, but still, are you going to pick Yashasvi Jaiswal on the basis of just a few matches in that IPL? So, in my opinion, I think Shubman Gill, being in the kind of form he is in right now, yes, I am again mixing format test cricket, but a player's confidence starts building if he starts to score big runs in other formats also. And that is why Surya went on to play one test match for India. Even all of us will say Surya is not a test material, but he played a test format on the basis of what he was doing in the T20I format. That was a wrong call. I'm not justifying that. But Shubman being the kind of form he's in, and he's no mug with the bat when it comes to scoring at a higher pace. And you need, I'm repeating myself for the last week or so, but you need a bit of stability in Dubai. You can't just go all out and say we will smash all the 120 balls that comes our way. That is not going to happen in Dubai.
Okay. So Bharat, if I extrapolate from what Shubhan is saying, I mean, form. Jasasvi Jaiswal got 100 in the second innings at the Oval. If you go by form, that guy got 100 playing the new ball in the toughest of conditions in England. So how do you discount that? Shubman Gill is in outstanding form, absolutely taken. So is this guy. He's got 200s as an opener. As an opener, blunting the new ball in tough bowling conditions, tough batting conditions, he's played well. Secondly, if the guy scores 100 at Perth, if a guy scores 100 at the Oval in difficult conditions, even in Sydney, he gave you a blistering start in that last test. How do we say he's not solid enough? Yes, he had an issue, but that this is a different format. So when I'm seeing both these players, I'm just trying to understand that how do you leave one out and pick the other? What is the logic? How does Jaiswal get in no Gill? How does Gill get in no Jaiswal? Is that even possible? And if that happens, will one feel hard done? Bharat Ramraj, where do you stand on this?
Yeah, for a start, just leave aside Test cricket. Let us think about T20 cricket itself. In the IPL 2025 IPL, Jaiswal scored 559 runs at a strike rate of almost 160. Yes, he might not have had such a great season compared to Shubman Gill, but still 559 runs at a strike rate of almost 160 is still very good. Just that he had an opener called Vaibhav Suryavamshi as his batting partner who hogged all the limelight, and it felt like Jaiswal didn't do anything. So even 2025 IPL is done well. If you look at his records, and he's someone who can play different situations, as you noted. He played well in England. He played well in Australia in tricky conditions. So he understands how to shift gears. So definitely, Jaiswal will be feeling hard done by even his IPL performance. Just one season, I think it was 2024 IPL. Other than that, in his last 3 seasons, he's been very consistent, even in India's Premier League tournament. So T20 tournament. So considering that, yes, Jaiswal will be feeling hard and by. And one more point I just want to add is also left-hand batter. I know some of them think that there's not a great analytical tool or a great thing to consider in T20 cricket, but teams do look at left-hand right-hand combinations in T20 cricket. They feel that such a combination will put off the lens of the opponents even more so in the shortest format, because you have to adjust very quickly as a bowler. So even considering that, Jaiswal should be considered at least to be selected in the squad. But if they don't, he definitely would be feeling hard and by.
Just to end this Jaiswal bit before I move on, and some of the other players, there's another super chat also. But I think, I think if somebody is saying that you concentrate on red ball, that is utter bullshit. I mean, a World Cup is coming in 5 months' time. This guy plays shots all around the thing. How does anybody tell anyone that you don't focus on this format and go and play red ball? Why should I? If the player turns back and says, to hell with it, I want to play all formats, it's my call. Who is I mean, how does one even tell a player? An Asia Cup is coming, a World Cup is coming on home soil, and you want to tell a player, firstly, where is all this news coming from? Go play red ball. Who has said this? Some news person must have said somewhere. All nonsense. I mean, and if the player turns back and says, I want to play all formats, I want to go and prove myself in all formats, you want to drop me, you drop me. How does it matter? I don't get these things. I mean, if Shubman Gill is picked for all formats, Jaiswal also will get picked for all formats, or can put himself forward for all formats. If Gill can play the Asia Cup and play West Indies as captain, what stops Jaiswal from playing the Asia Cup and play West Indies as another opening batter? Simple as that. But coming to the other point, Rohit, where do you stand on vice captaincy? I understand that there was this thing about Gill. I've never heard it, by the way. I did not hear it from anyone that Gill would be, be appointed vice captain. Yes, Shubhan had his sources, and each one has his or her own sources. That is something that we will always respect. Even amongst us, we don't discuss sources. But where do you stand on this, Rohit? Someone like Akshar Patel, Shomik has done a copy today. Akshar Patel was given vice captaincy and he hasn't done badly for India. A World Cup is coming up in 6 months from now. So it is clear that Akshar will be part of that side, just like Surya as skipper. Where do you stand on Indian vice captaincy? Rohit, before I go to Shubhan.
Whatever, just to add on that point, that the Test cricket thing, I think it's happening in Indian cricket since last 1 year. If you see the Bangladesh series, if Shubman and Yashasvi at that point of time also, they initiated to the BCCI or the team management that they want to play this. They want to play this because there is a T20 World Cup coming. We already are very comfortable as far as the WTC cycle ranking was considered at that point of time. It was not something that do or die. It eventually became after the New Zealand Test series that we have to win everything from here onwards, and eventually where we landed, we all know. But before that, if I know that they won't be able to play the South Africa series, because for South Africa series they have to travel to South Africa and then they have to again travel to Australia. The South Africa series could be an exception, but if they really want to play this and focus on the Asia Cup and the T20 World Cup, they should have said at that point of time also that we want to play these 3 T20s. Or what happened in the England T20 series? Why didn't they play the England T20 series also? That was just before the Champions Trophy thing. Why didn't they play there? That means there is someone who is either they want to do that, or otherwise there is someone who is saying to them that, look, focus on this thing, focus on that thing. So at this point of time, if again someone is saying to Jaiswal that, look, focus on your red ball thing, focus on Dulip Trophy matches, and then eventually focus on the West Indies series 3 days after the Asia Cup. So I am not absolutely denying this, that oh no, this can't be happen. There's no logic to this. But I'm then again surprised that why Shubman and why Yashasvi and why others at the time of Bangladesh series, why didn't they said that we want to play the Bangladesh series or the England series? Because everyone played those series. Everyone who want to play that kind of series, means that kind of T20 games, they played, and that was where they can be tested very easily. Suppose one of them could score a good runs against England, that would be really easy for them and really good for them as far as coming into the discussions here. Now the vice captain thing, who was the vice captain when they have the best squad, means the they played in Zimbabwe. We all know that many of the players took rest because of the T20 World Cup thing. So a second string team went there. Remember that at that point of time, there was many senior players also in the squad. Even Ruturaj Gaikwad, who in Asian Games captained the team India, but he again didn't nominated, didn't given the responsibility of captaining the side. After that, when they played the Sri Lankan series, who was the vice captain then? Again, it was Shubman Gill. When you have everyone there, you have a Sanju Samson there who was the part of T20 World Cup. You have a Rishabh Pant in that series also. You have each and everyone after the retirement of Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, and Ravindra Jadeja. You have everyone there. Even Hardik Pandya was also there. But you given to the vice captaincy to Shubman Gill. So I am not seeing this with Akshar Patel being removed. I am seeing this. Akshar Patel was a very good player in T20 World Cup also. If you want to announce Akshar Patel as a vice captain, then you have to announce him there only in the Sri Lankan series. It's not like that Akshar Patel did something really well after the T20 World Cup. He did really well before that also. Remember his performance before the T20 World Cup in 2022. He was man of the series versus Australia, did really well against South Africa. Okay, the T20 World Cup didn't went really well. But after that, he was, since last 2 or 3 years, he was a really good player with the bat and with the ball also. Remember his performance in West Indies with the bat and ball. So I am just saying this, why you appointed Shubman Gill vice captain in the Sri Lankan series if you have to remove him? And then why again you come up with Akshar Patel? You can easily appoint Akshar Patel the vice captain in the Sri Lanka series there, or after that also. Why then and not now?
He's making a valid point. It's a point about consistency. That why, if you appointed Shubman the last time he was part of the team as vice captain, then why not continue? Or if you wanted Akshar, why not give it to Akshar? He's asking a point about continuity. But coming to the other point, and I want your opinion on both before I ask Shubhan and Bharat, that this whole Jaiswal point. Akshar Patel will 100% play the Asia Cup and the West Indies series because at home he's part of your left arm spin. So it is not as if there are no multi-format players. So someone like Jaiswal, who has done except maybe one season in the IPL, who came through the IPL, who came through the ranks there and became a superstar there, who has all the shots, why should he not want to play every format? And what is the problem? I mean, a World Cup is coming on home soil. How does a player not focus on that and only focuses on tests against the West Indies? What for? Shomik Chakraborty?
Totally agreed. Who is the guy who is telling Yashasvi Jaiswal that you need to concentrate on solely on Test cricket or the longer format or red ball cricket? What is his credibility to start with? If someone at all is telling him, what is his credibility? But Yashasvi Jaiswal will not be part of the Asia Cup squad unless there is an 11th hour change. He will not be part of the Asia Cup squad solely because of the fact there is no vacancy in the opening slot. That is the reason. It's a pure cricketing reason. It's not that Yashasvi Jaiswal has been asked to solely focus on Test cricket. At this day and age, circa 2025, it would be preposterous to tell any player to solely concentrate on a specific format.
Very, very true, Shubhain. I mean, Virat Kohli became Virat Kohli because of his red ball and white ball. Rohit Sharma became because of his white ball and red ball. So somebody who has ability, Yashasvi Jaiswal or Gill, take Gill. Today someone comes and tells Shubman Gill, oh, you know what, you're a red ball captain. You have become a huge brand. Please focus on red ball cricket. Don't focus on T20. Shubman Gill is capable of playing all formats. How is somebody going to come and tell him, no, you cannot focus on all three formats, focus on one or two? It's completely madness. I mean, and the player should just turn back and say, to hell with it, drop me. I will put my name forward. You drop me. If you're part of the selection committee, your problem, not mine. I mean, think about it. Today, Virat Kohli's white ball record, how much we celebrated the T20 World Cup win in the Caribbean. Is that looked upon as any less win? Is that looked upon as a lesser victory compared to any Rohit Sharma's career? That is the only World Cup win that Rohit Sharma will say, I won as captain. Champions Trophy, chalo, it was in a canter. How do we denigrate a tournament? It is as if red ball is more important and so, so focus on red ball. What for? I don't get this. But where do you stand on this, Shubhain, about Akshar Patel? I see Rohit's point about continuity, and there is a logic to that. But where do you stand on Akshar Patel? Is it because not big a brand, endorsement, star, glamour, more acceptable face? Is that one of the considerations?
Boya, firstly on Yashasvi also, see, it's all about tight competition. You can't fit in everyone in the 15. And I'm pretty sure when Agarkar or Surya will be asked this question in the press conference, this will be their answer if someone misses out, that we can't fit in everyone in the squad. And that's what happened to Rinku Singh for the T20 World Cup as well. He had every right to be disappointed after missing out from the T20 World Cup. So the competition is such that you will have to miss out from some series, some tournaments, and players will be hard done by. We are talking about Yashasvi or Shubman missing out, but no one is talking about Ruturaj Gaikwad. Ruturaj Gaikwad was very good when he played the last series against Zimbabwe. He scored a 77 not out, a 49 not out. A series before that against Australia, he had a century to his name, a half century to his name against Australia. But suddenly he's out of your scheme of things because your main players who are supposed to be part of your bigger tournaments, they are back in the contention, be it a Sanju Samson, Abhishek Sharma, Shubman Gill, or Yashasvi Jaiswal. So you can only take three openers, and I think the battle will be Sanju and Abhishek are 100% going, and now it will be about who from Shubman Gill or Yashasvi Jaiswal. If someone misses out, they have every right to be disappointed. Now coming back to Akshar Patel, see, Akshar was part of the Bangladesh T20Is as well. He was part of the South Africa T20Is as well. He was not part of the Bangladesh one, but South Africa one. But
Not
South
Bangladesh.
Africa one, he was. South Africa one, he was part, but he was not named the vice captain
No
there.
vice captain
There
in
was
South
no,
Africa.
there
No
was
vice captain.
there was no vice captain at all in that South Africa series. Come the England series, I think there were some doubts around Surya's, and it was a 5-match T20, and there were some doubts around Surya's fitness also. So they had to name one vice captain, which they did not want to name Hardik Pandya. Hardik was part of the England series as well. So they picked out an Akshar Patel who has been performing for India in across formats with both bat and ball for the last 2 3 years. So they rewarded him with that vice captaincy, but uh, nowhere came a press release which said Akshar Patel from now on will be India's T20I vice captain. It was just for that particular series that if something happens to Surya Kumar Yadav, Akshar will step in as the captain. After that, he got Delhi Capitals captaincy, etc., etc. That's a different story altogether. But before that Zimbabwe series, Shubman was named the captain. Followed by Sri Lanka series, Shubman was named the vice captain. So clearly he was in the place. Followed after that, you had the BGT, you had the Champions Trophy. So the focus moved to those two formats, and T20Is took a back seat. So that is why Shubman was not considered, Yashasvi was not considered. But nowhere did anyone say that they won't be part of the team whatsoever. If you have interviewed Karun Nair, when Karun Nair smashed 300, he was dropped because an unfit Ajinkya Rahane became fit and he was coming back into the squad. So straight away after scoring 300, he was dropped because Ajinkya Rahane was again fit. So it was all about continuity. Ajinkya Rahane was part of the team before he got injured. That's why Karun Nair got a chance, scored a 300, but now he is back. We have to give him the chance. Now, if Shubman comes back, if Shubman is picked, and there's a discussion around vice captain, then I'm pretty sure selectors or someone, I'm not sure about captain, but selectors or someone from who are sitting in that meeting will come up. Then why not Shubman Gill as the vice captain? He was your captain in Zimbabwe. He was your vice captain in Sri Lanka. After that, he did not play. That's not his fault because he was focusing on different formats.
Okay. Bharat, going by this argument, when and I buy the argument about captaincy, vice captaincy, by the way, that there is something that okay, this guy was your appointed vice captain, so why not? But if I take the other point that he made about Karun Nair, that Karun did not play because Ajinkya Rahane was coming back, and it was continuity. Now, continuity means Abhishek Sharma and Sanju Samson. Continuity means Tilak Verma at number 3. How do you change that? Tilak Verma world number 2 ranked better. Abhishek Sharma number 1. Sanju Samson 300s in 10 games. Now, what do you go and tell them? That, okay, listen, this is the reason that you are not part of this squad or you are not preferred. How do I explain that when I say continuity to either of these three batters? Karun Nair, if that is the logic, then these three fellows, Tilak Verma, Abhishek Sharma, and Sanju Samson, if you drop any one of them, or if you don't make them play game 1, what is your logic in not doing that when you think continuity and what they have done in the last 12 months? Bharat Ramraj.
Yeah, absolutely, 100% correct. That looking at how Sanju Samson has played 300s in his last 10 T20Is, Looking at how Abhishek Sharma has played, I understand maybe in the UAE conditions he might struggle a little bit, but still he's the number one batter going around.
300s of Sanju Samson, Bharat came against a B string bowling lineup of South Africa. It was not in their main bowling
Still
line.
hundreds are hundreds.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I'm not taking anything away from that.
Hundreds are hundreds. Still
But he
scores
faltered
on.
when a full-fledged England bowling side
Yeah,
came up to
but
him.
I will add a point to it.
Hmm.
Yeah, so if there's a problem with Sanju Samson, maybe it is against tall bowlers who really hit the deck and get that kind of bounce. I don't think, looking at the teams in Asia Cup, I don't think there's a single team which has that kind of an attack with some three bowlers over 6 feet 4 inches, 6 feet 5 inches. So even considering that, I think Sanju Samson should be able to score some runs at the top of the order because he's someone who plays well on the rise and in the power play should do well. So all those three, I think, looking at that continuity factor, they should be given the first choice when it comes to the playing level. And I just want to add a point about vice captaincy. See, there is my own humble opinion that it is more of a ceremonial post, in my humble opinion, when it comes to cricket. Yes, others may not agree, but you don't need to pick a player in the squad and straight away into the 11 and tell he's been picked in the 11 just because you want to make him the vice captain. You can just appoint a captain, and if he gets injured or something on those lines, then the management can have one player in mind that this guy can take over the mantle of captaining the side. So that is how I think it should be. We think too much maybe of vice captaincy. Perhaps the management or selectors think too much about vice captaincy because I feel it's a ceremonial post. So yes, Shubman Gill can get into the squad, but if there is a place in the squad, but I don't think he should straight away get into the 11 because your top order has been performing really well.
Shubhan, can we take the couple of super chats which were there?
Yeah.
Again, before we miss them, and then final round of questions. And
Can I add one thing? Can I add one thing?
Please. Yeah, absolutely.
So one thing which I want to add is look at what Indian team did after 2022 T20 World Cup. They again sorted out with different combinations of openers. They started with in New Zealand after the T20 World Cup. They went to play this India-New Zealand series. Ishan Kishan and Rishabh Pant opened in that. After that, it was Ishan Kishan and Shubman Gill and Yashasvi Jaiswal throughout the 2023. If you see India playing T20 series versus South Africa, versus Australia, versus Ireland, even versus Sri Lanka at the very start, you will see different combinations. Ishan Kishan, Shubman Gill also opened. Yashasvi Jaiswal, Shubman Gill in the later part of 2023. What happened at the very last moment is 2024, they play a series just before the IPL versus Afghanistan. Rohit said, I'm coming back. Virat said, I'm coming back. Before that, if you ask, Boryada, you must know this, that, at that point of time after the T20 World Cup, it was clearly informed to them that we are not thinking you as far as the T20 cricket is concerned. Three players were there: Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, and KL Rahul. These three have clearly, the selectors and the management have this in their mind that we are not looking at you. There were multiple questions in different press conferences from Rohit Sharma that what's your plan? So he always used to say this, look, this is a 50 over World Cup year and we are focusing on World Cup. So there were multiple, combinations were tried. 3-4 combinations were tried, and after that in T20 series versus Afghanistan in 2024 at the early part. Before that, there was a series in South Africa also after the test series. So before the test series. And then what happened in the Afghanistan series, Rohit Sharma said, I'm coming. Then the opening combination was Yashasvi Jaiswal and Rohit Sharma. Virat was playing at number 3. And then both have good, as far as the IPL is concerned, Virat had a really good IPL. Rohit again did really well. And the 50 over format, they again did really well in that. And look what we did in the T20 World Cup. We went with Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli, which never happened earlier. So I think there is no pattern to it. If they like that we are believing in these two as per conditions and everything, they can go with any of the combinations. With Indian setup, I don't think we can say this, that, oh, we are looking at certain things and then we'll decide that what will be our combination.
But the counterpoint to that, and makes sense what you said, and obviously on Tuesday selectors can, whether it is Shubman Gill, whether it is Jaiswal, the counterpoint to that is this current regime stresses on continuity and says we want to end this whole culture and give everybody a fair chance. So We've moved on from players like Rohit and Virat and whatever it is, and good or bad. And we are not taking a position here. None of us are. Whether it is ultimately you want to pick an Indian team that wins. Finished.
But then, Shubhanda said, where is Ruturaj Gaikwad then? Ruturaj Gaikwad was part of your scheme. Then again, where he went.
I think this current template or this current gen in the last 12 months, at least Sanju Samson.
What happens to Riyan Parag then? He was part of all your bilateral series before that. What happens to Nitish Kumar Reddy?
He was out of contract even. He was not part of the contract even.
Yeah.
Riyan Parag.
See,
What happens to your Nitish Kumar Reddy or someone like a Shivam Dubey?
Shivam Dubey is another good example. What has Shivam Dubey has done wrong?
As Shomikda is also saying that one of the three, you will see at least one of them will be out of the squad. Then what will happen?
That is a fact. Either Gill or Shreyas or Jaiswal will be out. And whoever is out, one between the three have to be
a question. It will be a big question.
200%. And that will be the talking point of that selection meeting. That if you have picked Gill, you have picked Jaiswal, why not Iyer? You have picked Iyer and Jaiswal, why not Gill? You have picked Gill and Iyer, why not Jaiswal? This is 100% going to happen because you don't have a spot for all three. Yes, Shomik, quickly before we take that super chat.
See, the biggest problem as far as Indian cricket is concerned, and especially in white ball cricket, is the embarrassment of riches. For example, if India go to the Asia Cup with two teams, India A and India B, those two teams will meet in the final. That is for sure. That is taken for granted. India and India B will play the final. So you can accommodate only 15 players. In that case, some match winners like Jaiswal, for example, might miss out. But that is purely because of cricketing reasons. Because you cannot include more than 15 players. So that is simple. It's not because of the fact some X or Y is dropping in and telling Jaiswal that you solely focus on test cricket.
I agree. I have said this, that India has an abundance of riches, and partly the IPL is to be credited. People abuse the BCCI. People abuse the IPL at the drop of a hat. Come on, boss. Give credit to the IPL. It is because of the IPL today you have this kind of money, you have this kind of riches as far as your base is concerned. Take a look at Indian football and you will know what the BCCI is. BCCI should be worshipped, given the kind of state Indian sport is. There are 350 cases. 300. Go and take a look at federations. And by the way, I wrote a piece where I said 200 cases, okay? Day before yesterday on the sports bill. A federation president called me and he said, your piece has one mistake. I said, what is the mistake? He says, there are 350 cases, not 200. I started laughing. That is the state of Indian sport, except cricket. Cricket also has, but ultimately the governance of cricket or the talent in cricket has not suffered. That is why you see this abundance of riches. This will be an interesting selection committee. Tomorrow, Shubhayan has suggested a subject we should debate, and we will. How do we handle Jasprit Bumrah at the Asia Cup? Again, the question of red ball will come up. Very pertinent subject. We will debate this. That how should India handle Jasprit Bumrah's workload at Asia Cup? Should he or should he not? So that's something that we will do tomorrow. But Shubhayan, can you play that super chat and we will close?
Prithvi Patnayak is saying, Boriada, I'm sorry, but your logic is wrong about T20 template. T20 only requires boundary hitter, not tuk-tuk players. Have you forgot 21 and 22 World Cups?
So who is not a boundary hitter? Shubman Gill with a strike rate of 150 is not a boundary hitter. Yashasvi Jaiswal with a strike rate of 160 is not a boundary hitter. I mean, we are now dealing with strike rates of 150 and 60 and saying that is
who won you your last T20 World Cup?
I'm saying, why is he forgetting Virat Kohli
Virat Kohli 76, exactly.
Why is he forgetting?
Ultimately, you are the world champions in this format. You are the world champions. And what is the strike rate that these guys had? Who won you that final? Virat Kohli 76. How do you say all these things? I don't understand. And then one match 5 for 3, you will say, Arey, why did you not get Shubman Gill, a technically sound player who could have anchored the innings? And then you will blast the selectors saying, oh, look at this. This is a wrong selection. In Indian cricket, unfortunately, 1.1 billion, which includes 5 of us, by the way, we are all selectors. And we all think that we know the best about Indian cricket. That's the fun. And that is the best part about this. The selectors who will select that team, they know the least. The captain and the coach know the least. Gautam Gambhir, before England series, was the biggest culprit. Now Gautam Gambhir has become the biggest messiah. That is why I wrote 11 gods. Ab God ko ulta karo na. That's what Indian cricket is all about. God to dog. It takes 1 second. Anyway, I think we have anybody else has
We
a
are
point.
done.
We can close.
We can
No?
close. We can.
Close the show again. Once again, happy Independence Day to everybody. I think there's a tragedy in Delhi. Just was reading the dome of the Humayun's tomb has collapsed, and people are trapped. So on Independence Day, that's not a good news to have. Just about some time back, the dome of the Humayun's tomb has collapsed, and people are trapped under that. Wish them a speedy, resolution to this tragedy. On Independence Day, wish everybody a happy Independence Day, and to everybody who engaged with us, thank you very much for joining us. Bharat, Shomik, Rohit, and Shubhan, always a pleasure. Speak to you all tomorrow once again. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.